What's up, family? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Yes Chef. So apparently, I don't know how to cook greens. Yeah, I came to the unfortunate realization of that over the holidays when my mother was in charge of cooking the greens for dinner. And when I tasted them, I was in shock. It was so embarrassing. My own family, my own children, and my own wife said, I didn't know what the hell I was doing at home. So we're gonna try to do this all over again, okay? I am going to present to you collard greens cooked the way that my mama would do it. So come on in and let's get this over with. Let's just get it out of the way. Now, I have 2 bushels of greens. Now, the last video, and I do have a video for greens. I'm not telling you to go watch it, but in the last video, I used greens out of a bag. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to cut greens. But today we're going to do it the right way. So we have our 2 bushels already cut off the stem. And this is how they look when they're on the stem. And this is how you cut them off of a stem. This is the way my mother taught me. And I've actually had to help her do these at some point back in the 80s. So you would take your knife, a little small paring knife is good, and just put it between your fingers and just go down the stem. Now, I'm not a big stem person, so I go down pretty far. As you see, I'm going down pretty far. You get the other side and you go down as equally as far as you want to go. Now, some people cut it down here because they like the stems. I'm not a big stem guy. All right, so you cut it off and there you have it. All right, so I'll do one more for you just real quick. So let's get that out of the way. And then there we go. Now, we are going to, for the meat for these greens, we're going to do some smoked turkey. So we'll be back to show you that as well. All right, so we have our smoked turkey. So all we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to go ahead, put them in a nice big pot, and we're going to fill that up, that pot halfway with water. We're going to cook it on a medium high, put a little lid on top, not going to be too fussy about it, and just let it cook down. Now, this is probably going to take about 2 hours to do, okay? But what we are looking for is for that meat to be fall off the bone tender. So once that's done, we'll be back to show you how that looks. All right, let me show you how to get these greens cut up, okay? Now, you just take your handful, just kind of make sure they're all flat, and you should flatten them out as you're taking them off the stems. And you just, you know, roll it up like some of you guys would, that good stuff, or bad stuff, depending on who you are. And then you're just gonna go ahead and cut it. And then once you cut them, go ahead, put them in a big, nice bowl, get them out of the way. So I'm gonna just go ahead and cut the rest of these up, and then we'll be back. All right, fam, so we have our greens in our bowl, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna turn this water on, and we're gonna fill it up with some water, rinse the greens off, fill it back up with some more water, and then we'll show you what we're gonna do next. All right, so we have the water all in here. Now, we're just going to slush it around a little bit. And then we're going to start taking it out and putting it over here in a strainer. And then once I get all of this out, I'm going to show you everything that's in the bottom so you can see the importance of washing your greens. I poured a little bit of the water out so you can kind of see what's going on. But that is all the dirt and the grime that is inside, that is on those greens that you have to get out. Just, it's a lot, man. So you gotta wash them. So this is just step 1. And there's a lot of dirt onto the bowl as well that you probably can't see, but I'll try to get as close as I can. So this is just the first step, all right? So we'll be back with the second step. So when you do this second part, you want to put the water in first. This way you can see if there's any dirt or any residue that was left behind after you wash your bowl out. Okay, so nice clear water. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put some Arm& Hammer in there, some baking soda. Okay, and I mean that's enough, you know, whatever, however you want to do it. That should be enough. All right, and so we're gonna go ahead and just kind of mix this up really good, and then start putting our greens back into the bowl. All right, so now what we'll do is we're gonna let this sit off in this bowl for some time, maybe 30 minutes or so. We'll let it sit in here and let it get clean and let everything dissolve off in it. All right, and then after 30 minutes we'll be back to go to the next step. All right, fam, so as you can see, the turkey is literally coming off the bone. So, yeah, that's a good shot right there. So we'll go ahead and transfer this over to a strainer. Now, this is how you want your water looking. And I know I'm doing this with turkey, but I just can't help myself. I gotta get some of that good old bacon fat off in there. Now listen, if you don't like pork or you don't deal with pork, just don't put the bacon fat in there. But I tried this a while ago. I tried some turkey. I cooked some turkey in the greens, and it was actually very good. It's actually very good. The smoked turkey does come out very well in greens. So you can kind of lay off of the neck bones and the pigtails and, you know, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna put enough butter in there, enough bacon grease as I want. And since it's hot, you just put it in there while it's hot and it'll go ahead and it'll dissolve in there. And if it doesn't, not a big deal, it will when you turn it back on. So I'm gonna let it cool off. Let it cool off a little bit, because what I do is I add my seasoning to the water, but I don't like to add it when it's too hot, okay? So we'll come back, you know, stir it every now and again, you know, kind of get it to cool off a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and finish washing our greens. They should be ready to go. All right, so we're pouring out the water that had the baking soda in it, and as you can see, it's pretty clear. There's no, you know, dirt on the sides or anything, so it's pretty clear. So now all we're gonna do is we'll just pour this out. So then we'll just bring the strainer with the greens in it, and then we'll just rinse them out. We'll just rinse the greens off in the strainer, and we'll move it around, make sure that that baking soda is off of it. You don't want that baking soda taste in your greens, so rinse them off pretty good. Either any way that you can rinse it off, just do it. Make sure you have a strainer with you though. So once we're done with that, we'll be back. All right, so our water has cooled down a lot. Now, as you see, you know, the water, remember I put half a pot in there, and after an hour, I put more water in there and it cooked down to this. Now, I would have loved for it to cook down a little bit more, but I'm not really worried about it because I do have 2 bushels of greens. Now, greens are gonna make its own water. That's a good thing because you're gonna at some point add water to it anyway, all right? So as long as there's enough water in there, when you start cooking it, you're not gonna see it. It's gonna have to cook all the way down. So once you put this in here raw, it's gonna fill this pot up. Put a lid on it, let it cook down for 15, 20 minutes. Then you'll be able to go in, stir it up, and it's gonna cook in that water until that water cooks down. And by the time that cooks down, it should be done. But what I wanna do first is I wanna go ahead and season the water. I got some granulated onion here first. And listen, folks, can't tell you how to season. I can't. You have to know how to flip that wrist on your own. Your taste buds are different than mine. But I'm gonna add some granulated garlic as well. I do a tad bit more garlic than the onion powder. Not a tad bit, a lot more than the onion. And then we'll do some black pepper. Now, don't overdo it with the black pepper. You don't want to taste this black pepper. You don't want this black pepper to overpower, is what I want to say. So not that much of black pepper in there, okay? And then I have my 50-50 blend. This is just a 50-50 ratio of accent salt and Morton's seasonal, okay? So 50-50 blend of accent and Morton's seasonal. And then we'll put that in there. This is going to give it the saltiness, okay? Now, the one thing that I have never been doing with greens, and that's adding the vinegar. And again, once I taste my mom's greens, and I haven't had my mom's greens in years, okay? And once I tasted it, I was like, you know, the nostalgia of it was like, man, it took me back to the 80s. And I remembered that my mother used to have this mason jar full of chili peppers. And she would pour vinegar in there, and it would just sit in the house. And every time she'd cook greens, she'd take that jar and she'd pour that vinegar into the greens. I'm now starting to remember this stuff. Then she'd take a couple of the, you know, 1 or 2 of the peppers and cut them up in the greens as well. And I forgot, but we're gonna do it the right way. So I have the apple cider vinegar. I don't have the chili, the little chili beans things. I don't have those, but we'll go ahead and put some off in here. Now, I think I just put about 1/4 of a cup of vinegar. Now, you don't want to overdo it. I think that should be good. You don't want to overdo it. Now, go ahead, mix this up, and I'll show you how it looks here. I'll get this out of the way. Go ahead, mix that up really good. And the greens are nice and washed. So get them off in here, stuff them down in there. They're gonna have to cook down. All right, so we have it all in there. Now, we're just gonna go put it on the stove. Don't add any water to it. The greens are gonna cook down. They're gonna create their own water. Plus you have the seasoned water at the bottom. Don't worry about it. You're in no trouble at this point of screwing this up. Simple. I'm going to put it on a medium high, put a lid over it, and the lid is just going to be on it just like that, and just let it rip. After about 20-25 minutes, go in and stir to make sure everything gets incorporated well, and just let it ride until the greens become tender. So we'll be back. If I have to add more water, I will let you know, okay? All right, so as you see, everything has cooked down. I just stirred it. It only took about 10 minutes. So I just stirred it. So all of the stuff that was on top is going to be a lighter green, but they'll all get to like a dull green once they get cooked and tenderized and everything. So we will be back at the next step. All right, fam, we are done here. We're gonna just go ahead and drop our turkey meat off in there and give it a stir, man, and we'll just see you at the taste testing. All right, fam, so as you can see, we got these bad boys ready to go. Come on now. Gotta get the hot sauce in. Come on. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Can't wait for this. Get me some of that turkey off in there as well. Oh boy. Man, y'all give me a minute. That was it. That's what was missing. That vinegar is what was missing. Yep. This is good. Man, this is good. Now, it still is not my mama's, but it's pretty close. Closer than the other versions ever was. This is good. This is good. It's still not my mama's, but it's good. I don't know what she does to make it. And shout out to all the moms, man, that know how to just do that thing and put their foot in it and just come up with these great, delicious meals. So, folks, but I appreciate this one. This one is really close. I appreciate it. So, folks, that's it for me today. I am going to go ahead and enjoy this with the fam. We got a big, nice meal prepared. So, folks, I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if this is your first time watching, I want to thank you and I want to welcome you aboard. If you want to be a part of the family, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget, turn on those notification bells. That's the only way you'll be up to date on everything that we do right here on Yes Chef. So, folks, I am out until the next time we see you, until the very, very next video. As always, family, peace.